You're listening to the Outer Banks This Week podcast, a place for people to hear what's going on up and down the beach and to get the truth about what really goes on around the Outer Banks. So, are you ready? Here we go.
All right. Thank you, Wes. Outer Banks This Week podcast, episode number 115, and it's all brought to you by Outer Banks Pest Control right here in Manio. You know, I noticed a couple creepy crawlies around my house this morning when I was getting up and getting ready for the gym. And of course, I hosed them with a can of Raid. But then it's like, wait a minute, where there's one, there's like a million. So I need to get up with Outer Banks Pest Control, come out and take a look at that, and they definitely will. You can check them out online at outerbanks-pestcontrol.com, whether it's home, office, vacation home. I mean, they will service anywhere up and down the beach, Corolla to Ocracoke and all else in between. outerbanks-pestcontrol.com. Of course, we got to power this vessel, and we power it with Kelly's Automotive Power, also right here in Manio. I mean, if it has doors, it can be yours at Kelly's Automotive. You get a chance, as I've said a couple times over, go check out his Facebook page. He's constantly posting videos up there, and I mean, he's a good-looking guy, beautiful man. That Kelly at Kelly's Automotive, great guy, good-looking guy, wonderful dude. Would love to put you in a vehicle. You're looking for a vehicle, he'll go out and find it for you, or you can just browse his lot. You can check out what he has right there, and you can see it all online at kellysobxauto.com. All right. What's been up? What's been going on? I got to say, and this kind of goes hand in hand with news, is Sam Walker, obxnews.com, because he posted the story, but we recently, down in the homeland of God's country, and you know where I'm talking about. I'm talking about Wanchese. We recently had a tornado touch down and bounce around a little bit for about a half mile, 3/4 of a mile or so before finally spiraling back up into the clouds. Now, I was home, which this tornado, just to give you an idea of where my house is in, to where the tornado was, as a crow flies, my house is probably about a 1/4 mile from where this tornado went through. It started out over at Walker Park. It looked like, from the video, okay? Somebody's probably going to be yelling at this and be like, no, that's not where it started. All right, just from what I saw and what I read, it looked like it started out over at Walker Park, and then it kind of bounced around a little bit, bounced through some trees, ended up over where I was at Brinkley Drive, over that area, and knocked over a few more trees. I think it took out a telephone pole. And I don't know that it did much else other than that anywhere else. Again, somebody's probably saying, oh, put a tree down in my backyard. Well, I'm sorry, I just didn't see that in the report, so I apologize if I missed any part of that, but there was some video evidence of this, because I remember when I first heard about it, I'm like, all right, here we go. Somebody's screaming about a tornado. It's probably not what it was. And then when I saw the video, because there was a video that someone took over by the ball field of it, and then there was pictures that people had posted online from the Manio-Nags Head Causeway facing Wanchese, and you can see the funnel cloud. And that's when I was like, oh, well, maybe there was one. And then I had some people calling and checking on me and texting me, and it was very nice. I appreciate that. But then people in Manio were saying, oh, we had a bunch of hail in Manio. Well, again, I was a 1/4 mile from where this tornado went through, and luckily I didn't suffer any damage or anything like that by the grace of God. But I didn't have any hail at my house. So, again, I'm not taking away from the magnitude of this whole thing, because, again, I think my buddy Rex down at Mechanics, I believe he had a camper, one of his campers flipped over. I know that the ballpark took a little bit of damage. I talked to the director of Parks and Rec about that. But as far as much else, I mean, we were very blessed, very lucky that nothing else happened, and that thing just kind of doink, and then went on up into the sky. So that was the big news. My buddy Adam up there in Edinburgh, right there in Chesapeake, man, he hit me up the other day. He's like, dude, a tornado in Wanchese? I'm like, we're all good. There wasn't anybody injured. There was nobody hurt. And injured and hurt, same thing. You get what I'm saying? There was not a whole lot of property damage from what I understand, but there was still some nonetheless. And I'll tell you what, shout out right now. I know I'll do shout outs later, but I'm going to shout out to our first responders, CC Mahovich and some of those crowd, our firefighters, EMS, everything like that came and helped clean up the mess. And I noticed that they were rewarded with some Jersey Mikes later on, a couple sandwiches. That's the least we could do for those guys. All right. But again, that was the big news and the what's been up. So I kind of tied those two together. On the side of that, we have had some much needed rain lately. Praise the Lord. And I don't think we're out of the woods when it comes to rain. Now, this coming weekend being Memorial Day weekend, looks like it's going to be a gorgeous weekend. Okay. The beaches are going to be packed. And it's just, it's the kickoff to summer. And, you have some people here locally that are like, oh gosh, here we go. The tourists are coming. But you know what? Hey, look, I love you guys. I love you guys. I want you all to come and enjoy the same things that I enjoy. If you have questions about things here on the Outer Banks, you got questions about restaurants, businesses, places to go. That's why I'm here. I'm here to help you learn about these things and understand these things, But I love you guys. You that are coming here on vacation, love that you choose here. Not Myrtle Beach, not Virginia Beach. Not saying they're bad places. I'm just saying I'm glad you chose us. Thank you. So from all of us here at Outer Banks this week in one boat, thank you for choosing us to be where you decide to vacation. So, hey, kick off the summer is this coming weekend with Memorial Day weekend, and we couldn't be more excited here at Outer Banks this week. Okay, let's see. Coming up in this episode of the podcast, bringing in old buddy of mine. Did radio with him for a few years. He was the voice of 98.1 The Score. He did the Outer Banks Sports Report. His name, Tom Hoggard. Tom Hoggard is the general manager of the baseball league, or the baseball team that'll be here locally this summer, called the OBX Flying Dutchmen, the Outer Banks Flying Dutchmen. They're going to be playing starting in the first part of June, going through middle into July at First Flight High School. He's going to be joining me on the show in a little bit. We're going to talk about the team. We're going to talk about who he is. And again, just to learn about a little bit more about what this Wooden Bat League is going to have this coming summer. So I'm very excited to have Tom Hoggard in here. Again, I can't say enough nice things about that guy. He's pours back into the kids in the baseball world here in the local community. Just an all-around great guy. Okay, so I'm excited to have him in here in just a little bit. Let's see. Let's recap. Okay, so High Tide or OBX, Joel Overton and the crowd over there. They are some wonderful folks. I appreciate them for being on the podcast last week to talk about the golf carts, talk about the services that they provide here locally. And if you're in the market for a golf cart, hightiderobx.com is where you can go online. And then, hey, I also did a special edition that came out a few days ago. Went back up to Corolla to Bob's Wild Horse Tours. I hung out with Bob White, and we talked about the horse tours and all the different fun things you could do up in Corolla. Corolla has its own uniqueness about them up there. Wonderful, wonderful place. I don't get up there near as much as I should. But when I do get up there, I try to kind of take it all in because it is an awesome place. Okay, so yeah, that's what's been going on. Recap. Okay, Captain Marty, he's been down at the Hatteras Village Offshore Open last week, but he's back this week. I know he's hosting he's helping host a fishing tournament for Twitty and the Twitty and Company that is up in Corolla, but they're doing it down here in Manio. And of course, his fishing guide will be out very soon. Very excited about that. I'm going to get an autographed copy like I did last year because everybody needs an autographed copy of the Captain Marty Fishing Guide. If you would like an autographed copy of the Captain Marty Fishing Guide, Justin at outerbanksthisweek.com, email me, let me know, and I will see about getting one in the mail to you. Yeah, straight from the captain with his signature. Now, don't go putting it on eBay and trying to get rich, okay? Don't go doing all that, all right? Please don't do that because, you could retire on the Captain Marty signature, all right? Just saying. But, hey, if you would like one, I think I can make that happen for you. Oh, gosh. All right. So not in this episode, but next week, we bring back OBX After Dark with your boy, Matty P. Yeah, y'all remember Matty P. I had a meeting with him last week, talked about everything for this coming summer. I believe I got him a sponsor. Yeah, I think I got somebody to help get him paid for all the work that he puts in and all the bar hopping that he likes to do. Matty P, a wealth of knowledge, all around great guy. And if you know Matty P, you know what I'm talking about. But hey, he's got a new nickname. It might be, with your boy Big Precious this summer. I don't know. He's always going to be Matty P, but like I learned of his Big Precious nickname not long ago with Andrea at the Jolly Roger. And, well, you know what I'm saying? Like he's Matty P, but he'll be back next week to start OBX After Dark. Yeah, with your boy Matty P. All right, going to take a quick break, and then we're going to jump into a few shout-outs. I'm not going to waste a whole lot of time going into Tom Hoggard with the Outer Banks Flying Dutchmen. So, quick break, and when we come back, hey, shout-outs.
Discover an exciting blend of local seafood and classic southern flavors at Oceanus Bistro in Avon on Hatteras Island. Oceanus Bistro provides a comfortable and inviting atmosphere for all of our guests. Whether you're grabbing a bite on our outdoor deck, having a fun evening with friends at the bar, or enjoying a night out with family, Oceanus Bistro has been carefully curated to create an amazing dining experience. To see their daily specials and to peruse their menus, go online to oceanusbistro.com. Oceanus Bistro in Avon, that Hatteras Island dining experience you've been looking for.
Ahoy there, folks. Captain Edward Lee here, and I want to invite you aboard the Miss Oregon Inlet 2. She's a modern 60-foot headboat outfitted with the latest top-quality safety and fishing equipment. We make 3 trips per day out of the world-famous Oregon Inlet Fishing Center. Visit MissOregonInlet.com or call us today at 252-251-4314. So ditch the beach for a bit and set sail with the Miss Oregon Inlet 2.
Yes, hop aboard the Miss Oregon Inlet 2 for a great fishing experience, sunset cruise, whatever the case may be. The Miss Oregon Inlet 2 would love to host you. See, I'm a poet and I didn't know it. All right, let's jump into some shout outs. Yes. And again, if you're a listener to the podcast, let me know. I would love to give you a shout out. Justin at OuterBanksThisWeek.com. Again, it's like I said, I love you guys and I want to answer questions. I want to help you. Any sort of advice I can give for places to go, things to do. If you got a question about a specific place, I mean, dude, that's what I'm here for. To be like your Audible tour guide, your Audible something. I don't know what the right word is there. Okay. I'm not good. I'm not articulate like that, but I can help you have the best time on the Outer Banks. I feel like I'm pretty good at that, but hey, hit me up if you got questions. Justin at OuterBanksThisWeek.com. All right. I want to start with a shout out to the Sproul family. Okay. Now, the Sproul family comes and plays trivia with me every Wednesday night at McGrath's Burger Shack, okay? And I hit up Mary Vaughn Sproul Dunn, the daughter, and I was like, hey, what are your parents' names? Like, I sent her a Facebook message on a whim because I don't have her phone number, and I haven't heard anything back by the time I recorded this podcast. So, like, I can't remember their first names to save my life, and it's driving me nuts. But you know who you are. You started listening to my podcast in the middle of trivia last Wednesday. I was in the middle of grading, and I just kind of cocked my head to the side, like stuck my ear up in the air, and I was like, that sounds like my podcast. And they were playing it. It was pretty cool. And they were playing it for a family from Ohio who came in to play trivia with us that night. So like, I thought that was really super cool. So I wanted to give you all a shout out and I really appreciate you all. I'm sorry. If you tell me your birthday, there's a 99.5% chance I'll remember it. But if you tell me your name, I'm going to ask you like 20,000 times. Okay. I don't know what it is, but I can remember birthdays. I just can't remember names. So I apologize to the Sproul family for not being able to remember your first names right now. But hey, I know who you are and you know who you are. And that's awesome. So I also want to shout out real quick to local sports teams. First Flight high school soccer team, the girls soccer team. They got pretty far in the playoffs. I'm honestly not sure if they won their soccer game. They were not winning when I left the other night. But they had a phenomenal year. Their coach, Joe Mount, great guy. Love him. I sit beside him in Sunday school 90% of the time. And we talk about all things like sports and stuff. He's a super cool guy. So I want to shout out to them. First Flight Middle School's baseball and softball team had a phenomenal year. Both conference champions. I believe one of them won their district tournament. I believe it was the baseball team. Softball team fell a little short, but it's the only game they lost all year. They ended their season like 20-1 or something like that. They lost one game. But hey, look, they hang their hat on that. Great stuff. And just some of the other local sports teams, the lacrosse team, the track teams, all wonderful things. They're wrapping up their seasons, and they all had phenomenal years here locally. So I want to shout out to all the local school sports teams, okay? And you know what? I'm also going to shout out to my 10U Mariners baseball team here in the Dare County Baseball League, okay, on the Manio side of things. I made a bet with them. They won their first 3 games in a row. And see, last year, the team that I helped coach went undefeated. And I was like, you guys, I'll tell you what, if you go undefeated this year, if y'all go undefeated, I will allow you to give me a reverse mohawk. And they were like, all right, Coach Justin, all right, I told him I'd shave my beard too, but, you know, we'll get into the details of why I didn't shave my beard in just a second. But lo and behold, they went undefeated. However, we did not play our last game because it got rained out. The same day the tornado that went through Wanchese was the day we were supposed to play. It got rained out. They chose not to reschedule it. So we'll never know who won or lost that last game. So I told him, I said, I'm keeping the beard, but we'll do the reverse mohawk. Or when I was a kid, we called it a ditch. You got a ditch right down the middle of your head. They called it a ditch. But hey, look, they call it a reverse mohawk these days, whatever, same thing. With that being said, I took a pair of clippers to our little team party. They got after it. We did it. And they weren't really satisfied. They're like, it's not shaved. Da, da, da. I'm like, whatever. You know what? You got what you got. We made a deal. This is the deal. Y'all didn't discuss the terms of the deal correctly. Anyway, y'all get what I'm saying. A bunch of kids, they got their rocks off. They had a good kick out of it and everything like that. Took pictures, whatever. So now I went to the Becky's barbershop in Wanchese the next morning, and I was like, all right, fix me. And she just went ahead. She's like, Justin, let's just do a 1/4 inch all the way around. I was like, let's do it. So thank you, Miss Miss Becky for fixing me. And thank you to my 10U Mariners for going undefeated. It's funny. In regular spring baseball for 10U, for the 9 and 10-year-old group, I never lost a ball game as a coach. It's crazy. It's crazy to think about. I mean, I'm not mad about it, but it's just like never lost a single ball game in the spring season. That's unheard of. I'm happy about that. So very, very cool. All right, enough talking about Little League Baseball. Let's talk about the Wooden Bat League that's going to be showing up here on the Outer Banks very, very soon. Let's talk to Tom Hoggard, okay, the general manager of the Outer Banks Flying Dutchmen. He's coming in the studio here in just a moment. Before he does, hey, quick word from our friends over at Pirates Cove Marina in Manio.
Looking for adventure? Head to Pirates Cove Marina in Manio, where exciting charter fishing meets waterfront vibes. Whether you're a seasoned angler or first-timer, enjoy offshore, nearshore, and inlet trips with expert crews and quality boats. Need fuel? Pirates Cove offers diesel and non-ethanol gas. Need rods, reels, bait, tackle, and marine supplies? Pirates Cove has that too. Visit their ship store for premium sunglasses, exclusive Pirates Cove gear, and unique gifts. After your trip, relax with snacks, cold drinks, and stunning marina views. Book your charter today at fishpiratescove.com or stop by for a day of adventure, shopping, and relaxation. Catch the big one and make unforgettable memories at Pirates Cove Marina in Manio. All right, as promised, I have a gentleman sitting across from me. He really doesn't need much of an introduction, in my opinion, but we're going to introduce him anyway. The gentleman I have sitting across from me is the general manager. Is that right? Did I get that right?
That is correct. Yes,
okay.
So that part I'll agree with. Gentlemen, thank you. I'm flattered.
Tom Hoggard, everybody. Tom Hoggard.
Hey.
May remember
Thank you,
him from 98.1 The Score on the radio. He did the Outer Banks Sports Report.
That is correct.
In the mornings, and very good at it, by the way. I enjoyed listening to you on my way to work at the radio station when I did, and I did a couple little bits with him from here and there time to time. But Tom, again, he's the general manager of the new baseball team that's going to be playing at First Flight High School this summer.
That's correct.
Starting in June, the Outer Banks Flying Dutchmen.
Yes, the Flying Dutchmen.
The Flying Dutchman. So, Tom, let's start from the beginning. I always like to do it like this. Tell me, who is Tom Hoggard? Where are you from? What you do? How you got into baseball? Let's learn about Tom.
All right. So the year was 1980. No, I'm just kidding. Look, first of all, thank you for having me. And I appreciate you referencing the Outer Banks Sports Report. We'll get back to that because we did have some good times together doing that show. Yeah, I've just always, I'm a baseball guy, much like yourself. Love the game for so many reasons. I played it as, youth and high school level. I was fortunate enough to have the opportunity to play some college baseball. Unfortunately, I did not necessarily capitalize on that opportunity and take full advantage of it. But I always was kind of drawn to the game. And so I started coaching as I got a little older. Have coached some high school baseball and youth leagues and American Legion, summertime ball, and so forth and so on, which eventually my love for sports led me to go to broadcasting school. And I spent 2 years at a trade school. It was the Carolina School of Broadcasting, though I went to a satellite hub in Nashville, Tennessee.
Oh, very cool.
Which is a hoot, if you can imagine. Have you been to Nashville?
No, I haven't. Never made it.
Let me know when you go. I can write your itinerary out for you.
I want you to do that for me when I go.
It is super nice. I might even have some stories that we get into here today from there. But that experience in broadcasting, it just confirmed that I wanted to be involved in sports somehow, and specifically baseball. Moved down here to the Outer Banks. I was chasing a girl I had fallen in love with at the time.
Oh, Lord.
It's official. She's now my wife of 13 years.
Nice. And, congratulations.
Thank you. We have 3 beautiful, healthy children who you have met, all of them.
Very cool.
So, that part worked out, thankfully. Eventually took a job at East Carolina Radio, and we broadcasted tons of sporting events there, Friday night football games, high school baseball games, even covered some of the Outer Banks Daredevils games, which is the previous iteration of what is now the Outer Banks Flying Dutchmen, and just really, really, really enjoyed that for, gosh, I guess I did that in total for 13 years, was in the radio industry.
Okay.
Until I eventually my home life and the demands there had grown to the point where I had to stay home a little bit. I had to take some time to take care of 2 little girls.
Yeah, that's right.
And so that's what I've been doing for the last year and a half. The Flying Dutchman came to be kind of recently when a group, the Old North State League, which is a Woodbat summer collegiate baseball league. They actually own the Flying Dutchman, and what they do is they go around the state trying to identify markets that could establish and sustain this type of team and franchise. And they determined that the Outer Banks area would be a great place to have one of these college baseball summer teams, and I of course would agree with that. Somehow or another, during that process, my name got mentioned to them a few times as somebody who could potentially be of help, of service. And I got a phone call one day from a gentleman, Mr. Alec Allred, who's the CEO of our league, and his family owns the league. And he offered me the job. It's weird. It's the only job I've ever gotten where I still to this day haven't met him personally, the gentleman that hired me.
Okay.
We've spoken over the phone plenty of times. I met his father last week, which was a lot of fun. But these guys have been really great to work for, and we are looking forward very, very much to reestablishing now the Outer Banks Flying Dutchmen here on the Outer Banks.
Okay. All right. So Tom Hoggard, got a history in baseball, played baseball growing up. Where's home for you? Like, where did you grow up?
Yeah, so I grew up in Windsor, Bertie County, Windsor, North Carolina, which, as you know, it's about an hour and a half from here.
Uh-huh.
However, growing up in sometime around 1987, my mother and father built a house in Old Nags Head Cove.
Oh, okay.
And so we had a secondary home here that I spent a lot of time at in the summer and on weekends throughout the year. So this has kind of always been a home away from home for me. I didn't move here full time until 2011. Okay. So I've been here now going on 14 years. So I don't know. You can clarify this for me. I think I'm a local now.
I mean, I think you passed the test, Tom.
Okay. All right. Well, that's good to know. If you say so, it must be. You know you're in charge of such things, right?
I've just learned of that. Thank you. I just now found out that I'm in charge of that. Absolutely. So I will coin you local Tom Hoggard.
Well, thank you, sir. I've officially been stamped by Justin Bateman.
There you go. So you grew up playing baseball, home is out there. You didn't bring me any Bertie County peanuts, but we'll talk about that at a different time.
We can work on that. And shout out to those guys. They're phenomenal.
Yes. So your name got tossed around. You grabbed this title. And now here's the next question. I remember, and I'm a little... I don't want to say I'm irritated. That's not the right way to say it. I was just like, oh, man, they didn't take my suggestion for a team name. When the OBX baseball became a thing, again, y'all were trying to figure out a team name.
Yes.
And there was I was trying to play off like Outer Banks, and then another, it started with a B, so it kind of flowed together, Right. So I was thinking the Outer Banks Bluefins, the Outer Banks Billfishers.
I like that.
Like, I threw some of those names out there on comments because y'all put this on Facebook, and I was like, the Outer Banks Billfishers, the Outer Banks Bluefins, the Outer Banks Big Eyes. I don't know. Like, I was trying to play like BBBs, And then I was like, all right, man, maybe they'll like it. Maybe they'll like it. Well, they didn't like it. Somebody didn't like it. And next thing you know, you're the Flying Dutchman. And I was like, I honestly didn't even really know what it was. So I was like, looked it up and I read about it. And it's got a really cool story. But like, how did y'all settle on that name?
Yeah, well, first of all, if it makes you feel any better, they didn't take my suggestions either.
Okay.
I suggested a couple of names. The Outer Banks Sand Fiddlers.
Okay.
So the idea I thought was, some of these minor league teams have really cool names, right? The double names. And so I suggested the Sand Fiddlers and the Dune Buggies. Outer Banks Dune Buggies.
Okay.
Our group, the Old North State League, decided to do was have a name that team social media contest.
Okay.
And this was actually done prior to my hiring or right around the time of my hiring. So I wasn't involved in that process.
Right.
But the idea was get fans and interested folks on social media talking about the team, liking and sharing the social media posts, and offering up suggestions. And along the way, somebody offered up the Flying Dutchman, and our league officials decided via vote, or maybe it was the popularity of that particular comment on social. I'm not sure exactly what the criteria was, but they opted for that Flying Dutchman name. And so the individual who suggested that ends up winning merchandise and tickets for a year and so forth and so on. So they should be very thankful.
Yes.
And yet the Flying Dutchman, it does have an interesting story about a shipwreck.
Right.
Right. So there is it is, because I've had people that ask me, what does that have to do with the Outer Banks? But it is paying homage to this story of some ship that was wrecked many, many years ago.
Yep.
And so that's where the name comes from. And hopefully everyone will get used to saying that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm cool with it now. At the beginning, I was like, man, the Billfishers. I mean, that has got a cool name, but it's like when you started talking about the minor league teams, like AAA affiliates for different teams. Like, one of my favorites is the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp.
Right. Yeah.
The Montgomery Biscuits.
The Biscuits. Yes.
And they got a cool hat too. I want one. But anyway, like this, so we've got the OBX Flying Dutchman. Now, y'all, I was looking at your website, which, by the way, is outerbanksbaseball.com.
That's correct.
Very well laid out, very nicely done. And you've got different things here about tickets, schedules, but there are some things. All right. Players.
Yes.
Talk to me a little bit about some of the players that you've got coming, like where they're from, maybe. I mean, you don't have to name them by name, but like just different colleges. Because, I mean, this is a collegiate summer league.
Yeah. So just in general, with it being a collegiate summer league, the idea is finding talented college baseball players who have aspirations of possibly playing pro ball one day. And that's what we've done. And we didn't set out to recruit necessarily from any one area in potential, and specifically we've got players from all over the place. I've got a gentleman from North Dakota who will be arriving here in a couple of weeks to play for us. And he might be the furthest away, but I mean, from all across the United States.
Gotcha.
We've got players coming, Division I, Division II, some D3 players. We have a league portal where individuals who are interested can register and express their interest to play and give out all their personal information, and coaches can reach out to them and recruit them. But coaches are also, allowed, or general managers are also allowed to do their own recruiting. And I happen to have a little network of coaches and college scouts and personnel and et cetera that I have reached out to help fill out our roster. So we're currently at 27 or 28 players. I do want to add 4 or 5 more between now and the start of the season.
Wow. So you said 27 or 28 players?
That's correct.
Wow.
Now, some teams are already up to like 36.
Oh, okay.
I feel like I'm probably going to cap our roster at around 32. I do have a number of players who play both ways, so they'll pitch as well as play a position. And I don't want to stuff the roster so full that those people don't have the opportunity to do both of those things this summer. These kids need to get reps at both whatever position they play as well as on the mound if they have aspirations to pitch. So I want to make sure that there's plenty of playing time available for all of our guys. So we'll probably end up with around 32 players. And, we've got them from all over the place, including, as I said, even as far as just North Dakota, Minnesota, California. You're looking at the list there. You see some of the names: Lewisburg College, Guilford College, Liberty University. In fact, the individual who's coming to us from Liberty University is a former First Flight Nighthawk. And we do have several of those local guys.
I was going to ask, I see Taylor Granitsky.
That's right. He's a current Manio Redskin.
Yes, that's correct. I was like, okay, Guilford College. He's going to be a freshman there this year. I just happened, that name jumped at me. Texas A&M, Texarkana.
Yes.
Okay.
So a couple of those guys, by the way, that are coming to us from Texas A&M, Texarkana, one of them is 6'5", 250 pounds pitcher, right? So
holy smokes.
I don't get to see... In scouting these guys, my scouting, consists mostly of reading a little bit about them and looking at their stats. I'm not able to fly out the Texas A&M Texarkana and watch them play for a weekend series during the season. So I don't know all about, hey, our position players, this guy runs a 4.2 40 and he hits balls at 86 miles an hour off the bat, or any of that information. What I do know is, Justin, we will have a pitching staff full of grown men.
Okay.
I've got some, like I said, 6'5", 250. I've got some 6'4", 235s. A kid, Cade Brown, I think is his name. You can find him there and see he's like 6'5", 230 from I believe it's Spartanburg Methodist.
Yep, that's right.
I mean, we've got some full grown men on the mound. So hopefully they can, they've got the stuff. In terms of their pitching repertoire, they have the stuff to match their size.
Okay.
And I'm really, really excited about working with this pitching staff that we've got.
Well, you definitely got, I'm looking at the roster and everything right now, and it's lengthy. You've got a lot of players already. Yes. You're looking to add some more. But, let's be honest, some of these players kind of come and go throughout the season. I realized that a few years ago with a different team that I was affiliated with in some way, that some of their players, they were able to play for like a month and then they had to go elsewhere. Yeah. And I'm sure you're probably going to maybe experience some of that same thing. Is that accurate?
Yeah, we are experiencing some of that. Ideally, we'd love to get guys who can report to us on May 28th or somewhere, get in a good weekend mini camp prior to the season starting and then stay with us throughout the season. But some of these kids can't. There are some who are still playing their college season and maybe they're advanced deep into the postseason. And so they're still playing school ball and might arrive to us a week late. Gotcha. There are some who might have to report to something else this summer other than just summer ball and might leave a week or two before the season ends. We do try to make exceptions for those individuals because we really want them to have the opportunity. So there is some roster turnover, yes, throughout the year. Hopefully for us this year, there won't be a ton of that, right. But it is expected.
Well, let me ask you this now. I know that, the kids, they really rally around these guys. They show up and they really become part of the family.
Yes.
The kids really just, they love them. They love them.
Absolutely.
Will y'all be trying to do any sort of like camps or anything? Have you thought about anything like that?
Yeah. So we will probably be doing 2 different summer camps this year for the youth of the Outer Banks. And this, of course, will feature the Flying Dutchmen's coaching staff as well as players. Players will be serving as camp staff and, helping and assisting in doing drills and teaching these children. So it's a great opportunity for the coaches who are local guys here to get together and pick the brains of great young athletes who have different experiences from different coaches and different, things that they can share from their experience with this group. And then all of that gets passed down and imparted upon these kids who join for the summer camps. So it is a great opportunity to really strengthen that team, community relationship.
Amen. Amen. I love it. All right. So your season, you were saying something about, you're hoping you can get all the players to report by May 28th because your season starts what, June 1st?
June 1st is our first game. That's an away game. Our first home game, and mark this on your calendars, ladies and gentlemen, because we want you out at the ballpark, is June 3rd.
Tuesday, June 3rd.
Yes.
Okay.
So the idea is, we've got a coaching staff who has never met any of these guys. we're going to have, roughly 32 kids coming together who most of them do not know each other. A few of them may be college teammates or have played against each other, but for the most part, they don't know each other. So the idea is we want to get them here 3, 4, 5 days prior to the start of the season so that we can, A, get them settled in with their host families, and then B, have like a little weekend mini camp where, pitchers can throw their bullpens and get their side work in. Hitters can get their fielding drills and defensive work in. And also, or I should say position players can get their defensive work in. And then also batting practice so that everybody's sharp for the start of the season. But players getting to know each other a little bit and coaches getting to know the players, who can do what and who will be where and so forth and so on. So we feel like that'll be an important bonding time for both the players and for the coaches to get to know these guys.
Who's our coaches this year?
So our head coach is going to be Mason Byrne.
Okay.
And he is currently the assistant over at First Flight High School for Coach Granville Garris.
Okay.
So Mason's a great guy. He was a big time baseball talent who played collegiately and professionally as well. He's going to be assisted by Zach Doss, who is over here at Manio. I'm sure you probably know
Zach
Coach Doss,
man.
Yeah.
I love that guy.
I've gotten to know him a little bit, but I'm looking forward to getting to know him even more.
Fun, man. That's a fun dude right there.
Yeah, and so he's another guy who played, big time college ball player and really knows his stuff. He's going to be assisting Coach Byrne. And then Corey Martin is a local individual here who was drafted by the Chicago Cubs and spent years in their minor league system, making it as far as AAA. He's a pitching coach. He was a pitcher in the minor leagues. And he is a pitching coach who has really, really done a fantastic job with tons of local pitchers from Currituck, Manio, over on the beach, as we like to say. Basically, if you've heard of a pitcher in the last 5-6 years who has gone on to play college baseball, there's a good chance somewhere along the lines that they've worked with Corey Martin.
Okay.
And he's really, really good as far as working with guys mechanically, working with guys to help their stuff play up, maybe get a few more miles per hour on the fastball, and understanding how to pitch. So I'm really, really excited about, as I told you, we've got a pitching staff full of full-grown men.
Yep.
I'm really excited for them to meet Corey and for Corey to get to work with those guys. I think it'll be a great experience for all of the above this year.
Excellent.
So that's our coaching staff. And then you've got me running around probably trying to look over all the coaches' shoulders and trying to get involved in some way, shape, form, or fashion, just out of pure vanity and selfishness.
Yeah. No, see, that's what I was saying. Like, I don't doubt your ability to be able to manage this team and make sure that everything is popping and clicking along. You know what I mean? Like, you're very thorough, you're very detailed, and you're very on top of things. So, like, that's when your name was thrown out as the GM for this team, I was like, they struck gold.
Well, thank you, sir.
We've talked about the players. We've talked about the coaches. We've talked about the schedule. And again, all this can be found online at outerbanksbaseball.com. But Tom, what do you need? Is there anything we can do as citizens, as people, vacationers, locals, whatever? What can we do to help you?
Sure. Well, the main thing at this point is host families.
Oh, okay.
So these kids, you got to remember, are coming from all over the country. They do not have, they and their families in all likelihood don't have secondary homes here and places for them to stay. So we need host families. And basically the idea is, hey, if you have a family and your family has an extra room in the house somewhere, and it doesn't even have to necessarily be a master suite or, a finished in-law suite, some of these guys will probably be okay with sleeping on a couch in the extra room downstairs. We do ask that they have a little bit of privacy and some space where they can, be to themselves. But the host families, that's going to be crucial for us. We still right now are 2 weeks out from the season starting and need places for some of these kids to stay. And by the way, we do reward the family for hosting children, for hosting players with season tickets, and anything basically that I can do to help sweeten the pot to get some host families, I will do. Well, it's a great experience, not just for the players, but for the families also. We've got some fine folks over here who have already volunteered, and some of them who to host kids. And part of the reason why they're doing it, other than just being great people who want to support the community, is because they have children in the home who love baseball, who they know will look up to these players. And I can tell you from speaking with host families from years past, it's been a great experience from, the standpoint of, hey, I came home today from work and I drove up on this 19-year-old sophomore from wherever in the yard playing catch with my 6-year-old son. And my son just adores him, loves him, thinks he's the best player in the entire world, that the sun sets with this individual. And for him to take that time out, of his busy day to spend 20 minutes playing catch with my son. So it's those types of things that really, and those types of experiences that really, really make it rewarding for the families, as well as the players. So please, 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 if you have a spare room, and are interested in hosting a player, it's only for 7 weeks. It's pretty much 8 weeks. We'll say 8 weeks.
Say 8 weeks.
So I don't want anybody to be counting down the days and then call me out on the technicality. But for 8 weeks, we ask that if you have a spare room, you put one or two of these kids up and maybe provide them with a meal or two. We'll be providing the kids meals on game days. And, of course, they're going to be on their own quite a bit, during the week on off days. So it's not like you're responsible for their whereabouts at all times or for every bit of spending money that they need or meal that they need. But, providing a place to stay and the occasional meal would be very, very helpful to us. And those guys in return can help take out the trash, maybe mow the grass, and do some of those household chores. And they understand that. That's part of the deal.
The give and take.
Absolutely.
Yeah, well, I think that, just kind of from my own personal experience now, Tom, I would love to take a player. I don't have enough space for what I have right now.
You're like me.
I cannot.
Yeah, you got a growing family and a house that's bursting at the seams, so to
Yes,
speak.
absolutely. But I do know that a couple years ago when we were involved with another team, my son still talks about some of those guys. There was one gentleman in particular, he hit a walk-off home run, and I started calling him Max Walk It Off Puckett.
Right.
And my dad and Austin was like, Daddy, any of these players are they going to be from the other team? And I was like, I don't know, buddy. I hadn't seen the roster at that point. He's like, what about Max Walk It Off Puckett?
Right.
He remembers these players, and again, these are memories that your kids are never going to forget. I remember years ago when the Babe Ruth World Series came.
Yep.
You remember that back in 96, 98?
And that's when they actually redid Manio's high school field for that.
Yes.
Right. Absolutely. I remember that.
That's correct. And we actually hosted 2 players at my parents did, and I'll never forget those guys. Joel Bijou and Josh Sanderson from Nederland, Texas.
Wow.
So anyway, it's things that you'll never forget. Here I am 40 years old talking about stuff that I remember from when I was like 12.
Sure.
So
and I'll tell you, to add to that, even I was with the Edenton Steamers in 2010. I was their voice, and I did media relations and broadcast a lot of their games. This was the year before I came to the Outer Banks and was fortunate enough to cross paths with you. And there were players that I was broadcasting for and whose paths I crossed there in 2010 who went on to play in the major leagues. Who I can name some names, and these are names that you would recognize that lo and behold came through that ballpark in Edenton that summer. And that's going to be the same here with players that will eventually, and not all of them, a very small percentage, that will be playing professional baseball in the major leagues, perhaps even. And who knows, it might be that kid who spent the summer in your basement. So that's really, really cool. In fact, one of the guys that was in and around Edenton that time, and I forget exactly what part of the country he was from, but he ended up falling in love with the local Edenton gal and made her his wife. And now she, I think he's a Toronto Blue Jay now, and she's married to him. So
that's pretty rad.
Pretty cool stuff.
So, Tom, we talk about we need host families. What about volunteers, people like that? Like anybody out there that can be at the games on a regular basis? You still looking for some of those types of people?
Yeah, absolutely. And let me give out this email address and phone number. So anybody who's interested in either hosting a kid or volunteering can reach us at ibxsports@gmail.com. And I know everybody's saying, wait a minute, it should be OBX, but it's IBX sports@gmail.com. and or give me a call. And I know this is I'm a little sketchy about doing this, Justin, but I'll give out my personal cell phone number.
Oh, Lord, here we go. Let me know if I need to edit this later.
No, 252-209-9599. So please, anybody who's interested, give me a call, shoot me a text, send me an email. Yes, we do need volunteers, and we do need host families. And as far as volunteers, it's not just, hey, I'm a 63-year-old retired individual who loves baseball and would love to spend a night or two per week at the ballpark. It's also, we're looking for groups to partner with from a charitable perspective. So maybe the SPCA wants to have bring your pet to the ballpark night or something along those lines. We encourage those types of groups to get up with us as well. And we can certainly tailor some promotional idea to their needs. And there's opportunities for those charities to help with ticket sales and so forth, and they could actually profit from that. So we are really looking to tie into the community in any way that we can.
Well, and I don't doubt that you'll be able to do that because, again, I remember watching the outpour for another team that was here a few years ago, and it was beautiful the way everybody kind of came together for it and everything like that. So I know that you're going to just take that to the next level.
Well, let's hope so.
So, but again, you can get a hold of Tom with the IBX.
That's right. sports@gmail.com.
Or there's actually, it looks like it might be a Google Doc in some way attached to the website, outerbanksbaseball.com. You can look and it says community, little drop down tab. You can host a player, become a corporate partner. There's also that option as well.
Yep.
All right, Tom, I love the hat you have on. I'm going to take your picture before we leave here.
All right.
And I want it. Can I have it?
You can. Not this particular one, only because at the moment our merchandise for fan merch and so forth that'll be available at the games, that has not arrived yet. So this one, don't tell anybody. This one is actually a player hat that I'm going to be, as soon as this podcast is over, I'm going to go back home. I'm going to take it off very nicely and make sure it's not creased anywhere. And I'm going to put it back in the box. And some player, unbeknownst to them, will be wearing this hat this summer that I have already worn. But we will have merchandise and memorabilia available, to be purchased at the games. And so I appreciate that. Yeah. And in addition to at the games, through the website as well.
Okay. Very cool. Because I really want one of those hats in the worst way. So the minute you have
I've got
some
one for you.
sale,
Yep.
I'm on it.
I have you covered. Yes. In fact, I have in my mind, when they arrive, the first one off the top has Justin Bateman's name.
Oh, shoot.
Written
Man,
all
don't even do that
over it.
now. Come on
yes,
now.
Yes. And we, I think the name, the Flying Dutchman, and the catchy hat that you've, mentioned, I think it will be a popular item this summer here locally on the Outer Banks. I think we should do quite well with the merchandise.
I think you will. Yeah. I don't doubt that because they pop. I mean, it's the green and black. You got the OBX with the X being the bats. You got the skull. It's like a skull and crossbone in a lot of ways right there. So I'm going to post up all this stuff on our website and whatnot when this goes live.
Thank you. Please do.
Tom, other than that, have we left anything out? I mean, we've kind of run through the gauntlet of it all.
Yeah, no, just if you can host a child, a kid this summer, please do. If you can't, come out to the ballpark and watch some good baseball this year and support these Flying Dutchmen, because the idea is for this team to be around from now till death do us part. And I don't just mean me specifically, but just baseball in this area for as long as we can imagine. And we hope to, right now our team is currently owned by the Old North State League, but we are looking for local owners. So anybody who is a prospective or, interested owner out there, you can also reach out to us with that same contact information. And that's a conversation we'd love to have with you, because what we want to do, we as a league, is establish that a team here has value and is wanted and needed, and then allow somebody locally to sort of take that over and run with it. And that's what the league has done in 23 other markets around the state. And so look forward to doing that here. And no, I think we've covered all the bases. It should be a really fun summer. It's a great opportunity to come out and have a family fun night, enjoying a baseball game the the way that you should with the ice cold drink and a hot dog. And
come on.
The
Now
smell
you're
of
talking
grass,
to me.
right? Can you close your eyes and imagine
Yes.
that?
Gosh, I'm there right now, Tom. You got me.
It's nice. It's me too.
You just sold
My happy
me.
place.
I was already sold, but you just double sold me on being there
Was
as
it the
often
hot
as
dog?
I can.
The
grass,
the grass,
drink.
yep.
I mean, just all of it. I mean, I think
Absolutely.
George Steinbrenner said it best. He's like, there's no better feeling in the world than sitting at the ballpark. He said with a hot dog and he said a hot dog and a beer and
Right.
watching a ball game.
Right.
But like, of course, that's something we're on a school property. So
Sure.
don't be trying to bring that stuff into the stadium or anything like that, because you're probably going to be asked to leave it in your vehicle or to just leave it at home.
But ice cold Pepsi with that hot dog.
Pepsi would be great.
Absolutely.
So. Well, Tom, I appreciate you giving me some time today. OuterBanksBaseball.com is where you can go to find tickets, to get more information about how to be a host family, if you want to be a corporate sponsor, at some point to be able to get some merch, because I want
That's
some
good,
merch,
yep.
Tom Hoggard.
I got
and
you.
to get the schedule for, and to buy tickets. And, I mean, you got group tickets. Yeah, see, like
Yep.
all sorts of great things there. So, Tom, I appreciate it. Again, Outer Banks Flying Dutchmen going to be here playing starting June 1st, going through July 18th. Check out their schedule for their list of home games. And you said their very first home game is
June 3rd.
June 3rd.
Yes.
So we need to pack the stands for that.
Please. And thank you for having me. Good to see you again, as
Absolutely.
always.
Heck yeah.
Always
You look
good to see you.
Tom.
Well, thank you. I haven't been hitting
You're
the
a
gym as hard as
beautiful
you
man.
have, obviously.
Anyway.
But no, thank you. Good to catch up with you on a serious note, as always. And I appreciate you extending your platform to us.
Absolutely. Happy to do it, Tom. I appreciate you coming in. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
You've made it to the beach. Getting there is one thing, but setting up your things is another. That's where Just for the Beach Rentals comes in. Whether it be a setup or a drop-off, Just for the Beach Rentals provides quality rentals, timely deliveries, and friendly service from Nags Head to Corolla. They have a huge inventory of chairs, umbrellas, kayaks, surfboards, stand-up paddleboards, a wide range of bikes, and even baby stuff. To see their setup packages for your oceanfront or non-oceanfront service, go online to justforthebeach.com.
All right, now's the time for us to jump into some events. I'm going to try to make this quick. All these events that I'm talking about can be found online at outerbanksthisweek.com. Just click on the events tab, and I'm telling you, lists of events go on and on and on. All right. Hey, Memorial Day weekend. That's what weekend we're talking about right now. There's so many different things going on, from the live music to karaoke nights to the different trivia nights that are taking place all over the beach. All right, so let's talk a little bit about Friday. This coming Friday night, the 23rd. Hey, DJ night over at Lost Colony Tavern. There's trivia going on at Wanchie's Marina, as well as some live music at Buffalo City Distillery. Let's take a look into Saturday. There's a surf camp going on at Ride the Wind Surf Shop down in Ocracoke. The Tri-Villages Market is reopened right there at Camp Hatteras and Rodanthe. Oh, absolutely going to be a cool time there. And it's opening day for H2OBX Water Park in Powell's Point this coming Saturday, May 24th. They open at 10 a.m. Ty Fleming, oh my gosh, he's going to be at Fish Heads this Saturday, starting at 7 o'clock in the evening, going until 10 o'clock at night. Dang, he's going to be pulling a late night there at Fish Heads. Hey, you get a chance to hear Ty Fleming, you need to take advantage of it. Ty Fleming, as I've said before, is the man who created Chris Stapleton. I need to get him on the podcast. Oh, that's a must. I got to do that before June is over. I got a packed schedule, but I'm going to find a way to get Ty Fleming on my show. Let's take a look here into Sunday. A couple things going on at Buffalo City Distillery and at Fish Heads. There's going to be stuff happening at Avalon Pier. There's also, some things. There's karaoke at Jolly Rogers at 9 o'clock happening on Sunday, May 25th. Open mic night at McGrath's Burger Shack happening on Memorial Day itself. And let's look ahead into next week a little bit. H2OBX is having a Military and Veterans Appreciation Day on Tuesday, May 27th, starting at 10 a.m. All sorts of fun things going on at Elizabethan Gardens, the North Carolina Aquarium. Let's take a look into Wednesday. Of course, I'll be hosting trivia at McGrath's Burger Shack on Wednesday night, May 28th, starting at 6 o'clock. I'm telling you, look, I love to party. Y'all know this. If you want to party on a Wednesday night, come see me at McGrath's Burger Shack right there in the Outer Banks Mall in Nags Head, right next to the hospital. I mean, literally the hospital. You walk out the back door of McGrath's Burger Shack, if you could walk out the back door, and you're in the hospital parking lot pretty much, okay? Come see me at McGrath's Burger Shack. Great food, great atmosphere, and you know me, I'm going to find a way. We're going to have a good time faux show. McGrath's Burger Shack, Wednesday nights, 6 o'clock. Oh, let's see. Coming on up into the first weekend in May, or last weekend in May. What am I talking about? Just lots of different things going on at Sanctuary Vineyards, Buffalo City Distillery, the Whalehead Brewery in Corolla. Haven't been there tonight. They have a trivia night coming up on Thursday, May 29th. And who's Jay DaCosta? Ooh, he's going to be playing Thursday, May 29th at 7 o'clock at Fishhead's Bar and Grill. So as I said, this website that we have at OuterBanksThisWeek.com with all the events, I mean, that's one of the things that we do better than anybody, in my opinion. We actually go through, find the events, post them online. If you're a client of ours, of course, you get a little bit of extra on top of that. You know what I mean? But like, just to throw it out there, I was told by a local radio DJ not long ago that he uses our website to talk about the events. I mean, they're not even giving us credit for it. Like, they're not even saying, hey, if you want to see a list of all these events, you can go online to OuterBanksThisWeek.com. He's just pulling them up offline and just reading them off. You know what I mean? It's like, he told me that the other day, and I was just like, all right, yeah, so you don't even give us any, like, bit of a shout out for using our stuff. I don't know. It irked me a little bit, but I mean, I love the guy, so I didn't really say anything. And I mean, I just kind of let it ride. But hey, look, I'm just saying, everybody uses our website for events. So you should too. If you haven't already and looked at them and stuff like that. Same thing with fishing reports. We searched number one for Outer Banks fishing reports at OuterBanksThisWeek.com. You type in Outer Banks fishing reports, our website comes up number one. Number one, if you type it in Google. Test it right now. Go try it. Bet me. Screenshot it if it didn't show up number one, and we'll fix that. But again, hey, the Lost Colony opening night's coming up on Saturday, the 31st, starting at 8:30 in the evening. Yeah, so the Lost Colony's getting ready to reopen. Dare Day is on the horizon. I was talking to Miss Ashley over at the town of Manio, and Dare Day coming up Saturday, June 7th. That is for sure going to be a fun time. I love Dare Day. Dare Day to me was the kickoff to summer. A lot of people say Memorial Day weekend is the kickoff to summer. I say Dare Day right here in downtown Manio. Big festival, lots of street food, vendors, parties. I mean, stuff for the kids. It's family friendly. So, and I'm going to try to get them on the podcast if I can. But we'll see how that all works out. But again, Dare Day coming up on the horizon. That's in June, first weekend in June 7th. So, all right, that's going to do it for the events. Again, go to OuterBanksThisWeek.com and you can see all the events in their entirety. All right, I don't know that I really forgot anything. I want to thank Tom Hoggard for being here, man. I tell you, I enjoyed our time on the radio because Tom had that sports show, and I would play a character on the sports show, okay? I would occasionally I would text in on his texting hotline, and I would be Johnny Bravo answering questions about the Atlanta Braves or pushing something about the Atlanta Braves because he had a sports show. Or I was Wrestling Boy because of my love for WWE. I would come in and I would give him the update on what happened in the wrestling world that week. And I would play a character and I would talk to, so a gentleman named Mark Jerkowitz from the Outer Banks Voice went back and forth with Tom on some of the sports stuff. And I referred to him as the wise man. And I would be like, wise man, tell Tom Hoggard to acknowledge me. Some of the Roman Reigns type stuff that was going on at that point. But we had a great time, and I appreciate the heck out of Tom Hoggard for coming in here and talking about the Outer Banks Flying Dutchmen. You get a chance to go check that out. You can go to OBX Baseball, I think it's OBX Baseball League. I can't remember what we said. It's on, you just type in Outer Banks Flying Dutchmen on Google, and bam, it's right there, and you can buy tickets. Hopefully they'll have the merch up soon because those hats are sweet. I should have taken a picture of the hat so I could put it on the Facebook page, but definitely something you're going to want to do this summer. You're here on vacation. Make sure you stop by and get some of that good old baseball action. Get that hot dog, get that Pepsi, get the peanuts, Cracker Jacks, sunflower seeds, whatever. I mean, it's the smell of the fresh cut grass. It's amazing stuff. So I appreciate Tom for coming in. Next week, I have an idea of what's coming up next week on the podcast, but I can't really reveal what that idea is yet. And that's mainly because I don't have all the details hammered out yet. So stay tuned for another exciting edition of the Outer Banks This Week podcast coming up next week. But hey, we're going to wrap this one up. Episode 115, all brought to you by Outer Banks Pest Control, online at outerbanks-pestcontrol.com. And it's all powered by Kelly's Automotive in Manio and online at kellysobxauto.com. I'm out of here. I'll see y'all again next week. Have a great Memorial Day weekend. Stay safe. Don't drink and drive. Go have some fun, but be safe. For the love of the Lord, be safe. Happy Memorial Day. And please remember why we are able to celebrate Memorial Day, because of those who fought and died for our freedoms. Have a great weekend. I'll see y'all again next week. Good Lord willing, and the creek don't rise. Y'all take care now. Bye-bye.
This has been another radical edition of the Outer Banks This Week podcast. Be sure to like and subscribe, follow us on social media, and listen every Thursday for a new episode.